Today is a jubilation for the NDC. Today is a vindication for His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. An announcement of the fact that really His Excellency John Dramani Mahama can fight corruption because he himself is not corrupt. Contrary to the other side, we also know that President Akufo-Addo, who have incentivized, lubricated, fueled this propaganda against the image of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, he himself cannot raise his head high from corruption, because recently the Auditor General report captures his children as a syndicate that have taken money from the people of Ghana without work done. Just yesterday, His Excellency the Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's direct brother was cited to have taken 200 million Ghana cedi contract out of sole sourcing without proper due diligence. So today, Ghanaians can compare notes. Who is fortified to fight corruption? Person who is corrupt cannot himself fight corruption. Today, it is clear that His Excellency John Dramani have told Ghanaians that I have led you, I have been your president, I have not stolen your money. What is being said against me is propaganda. It also shows how President Akufo-Addo exploited this propaganda, fueled it against the image of John Dramani Mahama to be president. Their intention was to use it again in 2024. Today, it has fallen flat. So therefore, let President Akufo-Addo be ready that the day he hands over as president, Ghanaians will hold him responsible and investigate himself and his children for monies that they have taken belonging to the state. The Ajapadia scandal will be investigated, and anyone in connection with that will be dealt with by the state.
So that's the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, Mustafa Gbande. However, the NPP has also responded, calling the OSP's job a lazy one. Now, the office of the former President John Dramani Mahama says the Special Prosecutor's ruling has reaffirmed that John Dramani Mahama is a man of integrity, a leader committed to principles of honesty and transparency. The statement, which was signed by John Mahama's special aide, Joyce Bawa Mukhtari, further reads that the revelation by the OSP that President Akufo-Addo personally requested that John Mahama be investigated casts an even darker shadow on the motives behind the initial accusations, which were planted to tarnish the reputation of an innocent man. The former president's office is therefore extending the same challenge to the Vice President, Dr. Bawumia, and President Akufo-Addo to subject themselves to equal scrutiny and transparency. To a rather sad note on the health front, the renal unit at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital has once again been shut down for almost 2 weeks. No official explanation has been provided yet, but according to the president of the Renal Patients Association, the facility has told patients they have run out of consumables. The closure of the renal unit has, however, resulted in the deaths of some kidney patients, according to the president of Kidney Patients Association, coupled with hardship in accessing private facilities. Kojo Banfuahin, Christ, president of Kidney Renal Patients Association, and he joins me via Zoom. Mr. Ahinkra, good afternoon to you.
Afternoon.
I hope you're doing well. We're learning from this report that it's been 2 weeks since the closure of the renal units. Can you confirm that indeed it's been 2 weeks?
Yes, Sunday will be exactly 2 weeks.
What was the directive given to you upon closure of this unit?
Nothing.
Is it indeed true that it is because of lack of consumables?
That is a rumor we are hearing, because as no explanation has been given, so everybody is speculating. So that is a rumor we are hearing, because officially, if they should have come out to tell us something, then we know exactly what the problem is. And for now, nobody has come out to tell us anything. We don't know exactly what is going on. So it's a rumor that we are speculating. All because exactly last year ago, the same thing happened, and it was the consumables. That is why we are resuming the consumables again.
But we are also learning that some people have died. We know that about 3 people. Can you confirm?
Oh yes, and we've lost about 2 or 3 people. Yes, but once again, I wouldn't know whether it's because of the closure of the place, because like since the time 2 weeks ago the place was closed, we've lost I think about 2 or 3 people. Yeah.
What does this mean to healthcare delivery for you as renal patients? Once again, the unit has been closed.
It's a big challenge. I mean, what can we do? Our life depends on this dialysis for us to live with our relatives and our families more. So if it gets to a point that whereby all of a sudden the place is shut down, no information is being given to us for us to know exactly what is going on, then we are left in a limbo. Now we don't know what is going on. Going to the private facility too is very expensive. You can't pay. The cheapest you get is about 600, and if you are doing twice a week, you need about 1,200. Where will you get this money from? You know, I always keep saying for Polibu A1, the kind of machines, the treatment that they give us is on top. I mean, anybody who comes to Polibu for dialysis knows the kind of quality that they give us. So if something like this happens, we beg them officially, they should tell us something. They should say we get to know what we are doing. Here we are, everybody is on his own, going to private facility, you might get infections. You don't even know what is going on. So we beg them, exactly, they should come out and tell us what exactly the problem is.
Do you think as a country we are playing politics with your lives?
I'm not a politician, I don't know. I think there is a problem that needs to be solved. And we are human beings. I mean, we are not dead yet. So, if anything, they should communicate with us. We are human beings. Now, this kidney thing, it can happen to anybody. Doctors are getting it, nurses are getting it, CEOs are getting it, journalists are getting it. Everybody is getting it. We have journalists among us who are on the dialysis machine, who are suffering. We have politicians, we know them, you cannot mention names. But the point is, something needs to be done. What is it that almost rapidly consumables are short? That is, if it is true that the consumables are short, why does it have to happen like that? And moreover, this time around, we are paying for. You pay as you go. So what is going on? We beg them. They should come out and give some explanation to us what is going on.
In the interim, as an association, what are you doing for your members? Who are you engaging?
You will not even get anybody to engage. You go there, this person will tell you, go up there and go and talk to this person. This person will tell you, I'm not the one in charge. Go and talk to this person. And there's no anybody, the right person to go to and communicate with. We are doing our best. That is why we are also appealing to the media. Probably the Minister of Health, Dr. Kobo, might hear us from here, because getting him is very difficult. So he listens to news. So maybe once he hears this thing, he might come up and maybe let us know what is going on. Because here we are, we don't know what is going on. We are Ghanaians, we are citizens, we pay tax. So if something is not right, they should come out and explain to us. After all, they are machines. It can happen, they have a major problem, it is fault. What can we do? They need to fix the place.
Do we then resurrect the conversation on the waiving of taxes on consumables?
Exactly. That is the point I was coming to. Because the problem was that if waiving of the taxes did work, like the private facilities, their prices will come a bit down. Yeah. So as people have to, the private facility can take care of us. Here we are, we hear the prices have been taken up and the taxes have been waived, but when you go to the private, it keeps going up. The cheapest you get in on the private sector is 600 Ghana cedis per session. So as to how they come, they say those taxes have been waived.
We lost Mr. Bafwa sound there. So that's Kojo Bafwa. He's president of the Renal Patients Association of Ghana, and he's imploring on the Minister of Health, Dr. Okuboy, to do something urgent about the shutdown of the Kolebu renal unit. Let's move on and do other stories. Private legal practitioner Nana Kwesi Boeti says the damage on the Attorney General's image is not reparable. The Office of the Attorney General filed the appeal at the Supreme Court to reverse the judgment of the Court of Appeal that acquitted and discharged the minority leader, Dr. Kisiel Atufosin and Richard Jakpa in the ambulance procurement case. The action filed stated, among other things, that the GHOne majority decision erred in applying the rule on the standard of proof necessary to determine whether the accused should be called to answer the charges against them. The appeal signed by the Director of Public Prosecution, Mrs. GHOne Atakrao-Bobisa, on behalf of the Attorney General stated that the majority findings that the letters of credit did not constitute a payment under the contract contradicts the evidence presented and is untenable. Atufosin and Richard Jakpa were on July 30 acquitted and discharged by the Court of Appeal by a majority 2-1 decision. But the Attorney General, dissatisfied with the decision, has filed an appeal to reverse the acquittal and discharge. So what is the Attorney General seeking? What's the grounds for this particular appeal? Let's take a look at it. Now, this is the grounds for appeal. Now, number one, the majority on the Court of Appeal misdirected itself in the application of the fundamental principles regarding the standard of proof required in determining whether a case has been made for the accused persons in this case, Richard Jakpa and Dr. Kisiel Atufosin, to answer. Now, another ground is the holding by the majority on the Court of Appeal that the establishment of the letters of credit did not constitute payment under the contract, which is contrary to the clear evidence in the case and is, however, not tenable. Another grounds of appeal is the majority's holding that the Ministry of Health's default caused financial loss to the state. That is not the act of the first accused in authorizing the establishment of the LCs as letters of credit was laden with fundamental errors and occasion a substantial miscarriage of justice. Another grounds for appealing the High Court's judgment, the Court of Appeal, I beg your pardon, is the majority decision failed to appreciate and correctly apply to the evidence the essential ingredients of the offences with which the accused are charged. Furthermore, the holding by the majority that the authorization for the letters of credit to be issued was regular and that the first appellant respondent acted in his official capacity was fraught with grave errors and occasioned a substantial miscarriage of justice. The first accused here is Minority Leader Dr. Kisiel Atufosin. The majority of the Court of Appeal was wrong in holding that the trial judge amended the charge sheet for the prosecution. Also, the majority on the Court of Appeal gravely misconstrued a report on a visit by the National Ambulance Service to Dubai as an addendum to the contract between the Government of Ghana and Big C General Trading LLC. The Court of Appeal erred when it concluded there was no nexus between the respondents and the offence. The respondent here is also Minority Leader and businessman Richard Jakpa. The judgment is unreasonable having regards to the evidence on record. The release that the Attorney General is seeking from the Supreme Court, for which he is appealing, that a decision and consequential order of the Court of Appeal dated July 30, 2024, acquitting and discharging the accused, the appellant, and respondents be set aside. Number two, that the accused, appellant, respondents be ordered to continue with their defense at the High Court. So those are the grounds for which the Attorney General is appealing the appeals court verdict, and then the grounds the verdict that he's seeking if the Supreme Court admits this. This is Newsroom. We're back shortly. Please stay tuned in.
Bergum and Wyam, once everyone said I never work from. Let him think I will know about and civil defense in Belgium. I want to stop.
Atamami is one of the many residents here at Shiabu who lost their homes to tidal waves. Others, who have been rendered homeless, now have to perch with family and friends, while others have been forced to relocate to other parts of Accra.
You say, baby, Ethiopia, or my to a bio or behind down to a 2 equidum. The owner see the crowd has to crown or to call the bushman fee, a bloom of chocolate and a basic density here. So, people down, the players have to come on chocolate. And I'm not Hanada. You go how crowd here, Dana is saying now, near the papa, Nina, Chilebu, and the police at the team. It's even now by my now, yes, my name. A
lot of families have vacated because their homes, their rooms, their houses have been destroyed.
With cracked walls and no money to relocate to other places, some of the affected residents are forced to continue living here. According to the residents, their plight worsened due to the incomplete construction of the sea defense wall in the area.
First year, if we bear me kayaton, if we bear me kayaton, we need to fire be. We're not be kayaton. She need abamamotuji ye be. Eyani itaba. Agbena ashe ku te na ba fie sagete hu keya. Una kete hu keya wo ba na ijole. Shini afete ku ye. No eyani insho ke afi na kante eyo keya iku be epeje nkenya. Una be fiteje nkenya. No te ene na fie no you are we unkete chimu na.
Say so this high no. E bro adwene ntia so. HSA ensure bubu dan na no amam for side the ball be go ensure no I say nya de papa toilet o mo ko toilet o poda no o mo the ball be go o mo no fin be go e the city first in there was say aban be hwe na o mo be ye ho dwuma ye na edu me bi no na say akoy how be amaye.
For these residents here at Glefe and Shiabu, hope for the government's intervention is all they are depending on now for their safety.
Let's now bring you the business brief.
The business segment is
President and NPP flag bearer Dr. Mahmoud Balmi has promised to peg the value of the cedi to gold if elected as president. According to the vice president, the $5 billion worth of gold bought under the gold for oil policy has helped in stabilizing the cedi.
Speaking at the commissioning of the Royal Ghana Gold Refinery, Dr. Baumia further promised to reduce withholding tax for gold export from 1.5% to 1% if elected come December 7. According to him, the state-of-the-art gold refinery will help add value to the country's gold currently being exported in the raw form.
A few years ago, government reduced the gold export levy, this withholding tax, from 3% to 1.5%. The result of this is that after a sharp decline in gold exports in 2021, the gold export volumes have been steadily recovering, with 2024 showing promising signs. If you look at what the governor told us, the Bank of Ghana, through the Gold Purchase Program, has bought thus far $5 billion worth of gold just in the last few years. $5 billion.
Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Samuel Abujinapo, on his part, revealed that such a refinery will help revamp the local jewelry industry. The Damango MP further revealed another $450 million manganese refinery will be constructed at Nsuta in the Western region, all aimed at ensuring value addition to mineral resources.
Very soon, Construction will commence on a $450 million United States dollars manganese refinery at Nsuta in the Western region. And our green mineral policy contains mandatory provisions for value addition, which are being incorporated in the agreements we are signing for the exploitation of these minerals, including lithium and bauxite.
Ochihini Osajefo Amotia Oforipenyin, who was the guest of honor, charged government to ensure the country's resources are used for the benefits of citizens, most of whom are living in abject poverty.
We are doing this thing to improve future generations. 3 things. We need to own our resources. Everything we're talking about is if we don't own our resources, we will never be able to achieve what we want to achieve.
Now, the struggles faced by commuters along the Dambai route reached a breaking point as this long-distance vehicle toppled into the Oti River. The persistent issues with the ferry and its landing site continues to be a nightmare for residents and those traversing the Dambai route to other parts of Ghana. Peter Kwao Adato witnessed these challenges firsthand and brings us this report.
This scene has become all too familiar for those relying on the Dambai ferry to access the northern parts of Ghana. This particular incident occurred just one day after the Senti ferry malfunctioned at Nswano, leading to the tragic death of a dedicated Volta River Authority staff diver named Kofi on Friday, August 2. Despite resuming operations on Sunday, August 4, the ferry continues to function under severe strain, raising concerns about safety and reliability.
We've been here since in the afternoon. If the pantu was to be 2 or more, I'm sure everything will be moving fast. But since it's 1 and that one got spotter, a lot of people are here. We are suffering. Yeah, we are suffering. Some of us, we have never eaten.
We just have to wait for any alternative that comes up. But they have to put a bridge here. That's very important. It's the same as the Pantu. The Pantu is bringing up revenue to the government. The bridge can also do something like that.
Omo promise saadieno and so still baby ayejina no eno an yejina nti yesrew se de ombe promise no omuntu hu anamon na entimemu wo man no because uduru ha wo hwe ni pegu ha ene ade a wo kire bebre.
On Wednesday, August 7, the Senti ferry faced another setback during takeoff at the Nswano landing sites around 5 p.m. It took nearly 30 minutes for it to be released from the riverbed to sail to Dambai with plans to return for the last trip of the day. However, the ferry malfunctioned once more, leaving numerous vehicles and passengers stranded at both ends of the Oti River. This forced many commuters, including this reporter, to rely on overloaded boats to cross between Dambai and Nswano. Residents expressed their frustration with the district assembly, the government, and other stakeholders for failing to address the ongoing challenges posed by the ferry system comprehensively.
Yes, Romo Mumboy, Kamim Kwa and Capantuno, and you are say, Baku over bank, I say, Nabaku other side. Into way bano, no way, into a Pantuno, and yes, strong crana, because of President and that's Nintino, Lebemana, Anya, Biffis, and Nache.
In response to the growing outcry, the municipal chief executive for Karachi East, Charles Jemfi Boateng, told Peter Kwao Adato that 2 options are being considered as permanent solutions to the crisis.
It's 2 things they are thinking about. Some are saying we should put bridge on it. Some are saying we should bring a new ferry. So that conversation is working. So at the end of the conclusion, we will know what to go about it. But government is seriously on this ferry because of the report that is coming from.
Charles Jemfi Boateng had this to say regarding the landing site saga.
And then you know some of the contractors, when the contract is being awarded, they are also waiting for the government to give them some mobilization before they will come. And then they have done something better, and I hope they will come and continue what they have done. The contractor did a lot, and we need to encourage him to get his money from the government so that he can come and complete the work for us.
As it stands, commuters would have to brace for more of these challenges as the government takes its time to consider the options available. Peter Kwadatos reports for GHOne News.
That's it for the business brief.
The business segment was brought to you by Bells Microcredit Limited.
In front, the Ghanaian gospel group Team Eternity is grieving the loss of their leading member in Shiramafo under circumstances that remain unclear. The group announced the tragic news on their social media platforms. Inshira's passing marks the second in 2023. The group statement reads, on Wednesday, August 7, 2024, we're deeply saddened to learn of the sudden passing of our dear friend and sister in Shiramafo. Though we are heartbroken and grieving, we turn to the Lord, the source of all comfort. We ask for your prayers for Inshira's family and for Team Eternity Ghana during this difficult time. We appreciate your continued love and support. Our condolences to the entire Team Eternity. Let's head to the foreign front. Military court in the Democratic Republic of Congo has sentenced 26 people accused of involvement And so that's it for the news. For more news updates, kindly log on to starfm.com.gh. You see our all beautiful new logo as we mark 10 years of impact, resilience, and of course, excellence in broadcasting. My name is Lily Mohammed. Enjoy your weekend.